Let me remind you, media, and all of those who are unsure about Bill C-51, that our water is at risk. It is at risk by industrial genocide brought on by the Canadian government. This fascist government is hiding behind their bills because we are being effective by mobilizing. We are effective when we are together and united. The Harper government will never stop me for speaking up for the land, for environmental justice, and for the future generations of all peoples.
Also, recently there's been discussion about dress codes for Muslim women. You may have heard when Alexander Boulerice said that the NDP is against the wearing of the niqab, sharing Harper's sentiments. What I'd like to know is what other NDP leaders have to say about this and how they're going to respond. Because my initial reaction is stop policing women's bodies. Stop influencing Islamophobia. As a Muslim woman, I don't want your problematic and deeply flawed version of liberation. Please don't use my body and our bodies to justify your oppression, overseas or domestic. Instead, how about you worry and focus on the missing and murdered Indigenous women in Canada. Iraqi prisoners, many of whom were simply looking suspicious. For those who don't know, Camp Bucca was the U.S. prison where 9 of the top ISIS commanders met. The Washington Post called it a birthplace of ISIS. So, some of the worst crimes against humanity took place in Iraq before ISIS, under U.S. occupation, one of Canada's allies. let me ask you this. How many times has Prime Minister Stephen Harper mentioned the U.S. government for the role they played in the creation of ISIS? Not once. Not once. Human rights by the UN, which Canada adopted. Now, normally when you hear about violations of basic human rights, you might think about conflict zones and third world countries. Well, Canada just added itself to that list. So the next time you commemorate Human Rights Day, maybe light a candle for Canada. And I don't think I need to point out the irony of someone who was born in Afghanistan having to say that. So the onus is on you and me to hold the Canadian government responsible for their actions. If you believe it is wrong to attack your rights and freedoms, if you believe it is wrong to attack movements that fight for Indigenous, environmental, and social justice, then please stand against Bill C-51. Thank you. It is my honor to now announce